This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. So Jericho becomes the Intercontinental Champion again by defeating Chris Benoit, but loses it right back to Benoit on Raw. Jericho is going to be a part of the triple main event at Fully Loaded 2000. It's a last man standing match against Triple H. Meltzer would give it 4.5 stars. They get 23 minutes and 11 seconds. 4.5 stars is rarefied air for a WWF match at the time. Pretty routinely and regularly, he was rating 5-star matches over in Japan, but American soil had not seen a 5-star match in a long time. So Meltzer was really, really high on this one. Do you remember this Fully Loaded main event? Because it does feel like, if the rumor and innuendo is true, these guys were political enemies behind the scenes, but boy, they created magic here in front of a live crowd.
Yeah, there were two great pros, Connie. The two pros that didn't want to go out there and look bad. They wanted to steal the show. And you can say, well, that's their massive egos. Let me tell you something. And I believe it's this way in sales. I believe this way in a lot of things in life. If you don't have an ego to support your skills, you're going to have a very challenging time to be successful in pro wrestling. You got to have a little ego. And you can also term that as self-confidence. I prefer to use the self-confidence level than the ego, because sometimes when you talk about ego, it is reminiscent of it's all about me. And I think that's not always the ego is not always the case. They're pros. And it's just ironic that Chris had come a long way. Chris Jericho had come a long way from those intergender matches where he had to apologize for being too stiff. Are you shitting me? Come on. You know, that's one of the negative parts of pro wrestling that you can't escape. No matter what company you're with, you can't escape politics and dressing room lawyers. Goddamn, one of the first terms I heard when I got in the wrestling business in 1974 was, "Hey, watch this guy, kid. He's a dressing room lawyer." Hell, I didn't even know I had no idea what that meant.
Right.
It's like my mentors telling me what a Broadway was when I walked into the ring to do my first Broadway with Dory Funk Jr. and Harley Race. I ain't got a clue what Broadway meant. They didn't smarten me up to that. So it's just, you got to learn as you go. But nonetheless, I thought that Chris had come a long way, and that he and Hunter did have a hell of a match. They really did. And it was a highlight of that show, in my opinion.
Well, it doesn't last long. He's going to come and go in this Jericho package pretty quickly. And then Howard Finkel winds up being his lackey. And frankly, this isn't the top level guy run that he probably envisioned when he's interrupting The Rock after this big Millennium Man countdown.
Right.
And the rumor and innuendo at the time was he wasn't being given rave reviews of his work. And allegedly, one of his biggest critics behind the scenes was Triple H. And we've heard a lot over the years that even if you come into the World Wrestling Federation, which it was at the time, of course, if you didn't work the WWF style, it kind of didn't matter in terms of, well, this guy was over in Japan, or he was over in Mexico, or he was over in WCW.
Well, they didn't exist, Conrad.
The story was there was a different style, and you had to learn the WWF style. Do you agree with that, or was that just nonsense?
I think you need to learn the WWF, whatever initial you want to throw in there, feel, the atmosphere, the society of WWE. You had to understand there were certain things you should do and should not do there. And I think I don't know. I don't know. Triple H probably didn't like him because he's shorter, and he's a hell of a hand. And somebody are going to get. They're going to get. Figure out what he's all about and all that stuff. But I always thought that. I thought that for a guy as smart as Paul Levesque, and he is, and I saw where he's getting better from his heart issues, which is great. He's so smart. Hence, I call him the cerebral assassin on an entrance. Vince loved to come up and do. That's good shit. That was one of my favorite things he said to me over the years. That's good shit. So I had a lot of good shit, I guess. But I don't, there's got to be a motive there. There's got to be an agenda of some kind, Conrad, why Triple H would say that. And I believe it was politically based. Now, he won't agree with that. But he's also the guy that said he didn't care about that old piss-ass company that's not going to make it, because this is a marathon, not a sprint. Always something.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.